Hey YouTube, how you going? Got a little restoration project going on. I was recently gifted this pipe here, which is a KBB from around about the 1930s from Mr. Goldpanner 1972, or Goldpanner 72 I think it was, Eric. And nice pipe, but the stem's got a little bit of oxidization and that sort of thing going on, and well, it needs a bit of a spruce up, so a little bit of a polish. So we're going to do that one. The other one I have is a Criswell handmade. Not too sure, only that it's you know, Danish made. I'm not too sure about too many details on this pipe. Only that well, I like the shape of it and the money was right, and underneath all the grime and years of handling and whatnot, there's some pretty grain in that one, and this stem needs a nice shine up as well. So, but there is a come on, focus. There is some nomenclature on the stem there, which I've got to be careful of. So I've got to be mindful of that when I'm sanding it back. You'll even take that off on the polishing wheel using white diamond. So just got to give that area a bit of a special looking after. So the other thing we've got there is some nice crisp nomenclature, which, if it'll focus enough, you can see Criswell golden clipper. So we'll try and preserve all the nomenclature on there. So as you can see, that there is some grain going on underneath there. So yeah, so I'll get to and start polishing these, and probably won't be a whole lot of conversation going on while I'm doing it, but I'll put some nice music to it and speed it up, and hopefully this will be somewhat of a short video, and I'll show you the results at the end. Enjoy. Okay, so what you're going to need to do this, and I suppose you consider this a bit of a how-to type video if you really want to. I'll work on the stems first. What you're going to need: some water and your stems, and I go 600, 800 and 1200 grit wet and dry. You don't want to get aggressive with vulcanite stems, especially ones as old as these. They tend to peel off pretty easily, and the whole idea is to smooth them out and take all the oxidization out of them first, and then get them on the buffing wheel. So yeah, you don't want to get too aggressive with them. And from the ones I've done so far, the trick to it is to keep as much water up to it as you can. Keep them wet. You're going to do the whole Michael Jackson thing. I had a run in with the bandsaw the other day, and try and keep the cut dry and clean. So there you go. So put down your paper, your stem a bit of a dunk, and this one's a little interesting because it's got some flat spots on it where you would think it wouldn't have. So just gonna start off around the button and just go, really easy. There is a trick to this, to the way if you get your sandpaper, fold it over into a nice crisp edge. That way you can get up underneath the button there, so it gets everything. Okay, so currently I'm just finished the 800 grit, so it's proved to be a bit of a pain in the butt because it's multifaceted, so you have to try and keep those lines there. So they're looking at 800 grit. They're nice and smooth. That's the KBB, and this one's the Criswell. And like I said, well, it's a nomenclature they've had to try and avoid wiping off. So at the moment they're getting to a stage where they're nice and smooth. So the next grit up is 1200 grit, and then it's onto the wheel. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so we're done sanding up to 1200 grit. This is the part where you know whether you succeeded in doing it right or not. It shows whether you've taken too much off, because your fit and all your lines will be out. So you've got to be careful if you've got like a diamond shank or one of these sorts of things where it's like multifaceted. So yeah, so we're pretty much on the money. It's looking all right. They're a whole lot smoother than they were, and now it's just time to buff them up. So I'll get the grinder going and get the white diamond flying. Just before I do though, don't ever get tempted to polish the tenons, or when you come to buffing the shank ends. I've always taken the view of it's one part of the pipe that doesn't get seen. So if you don't have to buff tenons or shank faces, then don't do it, because once you take too much off, it's a bugger trying to get it to refit. Now, it generally involves a lot of beeswax or well, that's about it. That's about the only safe way I know of to expand a tenon, apart from heating it up and pushing it down on the bench and trying to expand it that way. But then you've ruined the integrity of the pipe, in my humble opinion anyway. So yeah, leave the tenons alone, and the shank faces and mortises. So that way you will stay out of trouble and you will have a smokable pipe. So let's get on to the buffing wheel. Okay, so here we are at the buffer. This is just an 8-inch bench grinder. With a colour coded mop on here, and a little bit of white diamond compound. Don't be tempted to jam the stems right in, and don't, as I said, polish the tenon. This stuff will take material off your tenons. And being as old as these are, I don't think they're Delrin. I think they're straight vulcanite. So yeah, I tend to come across the wheel at a 45-degree angle. You know, I will at some point go up and down the wheel that way. I forgot to mention when I was sanding, wherever possible, go up and down, don't go across. You will see the lines in there. So same goes for waxing. Eventually I'll put a coat of wax over this as well. So, but yeah, I'll get it going. Okay, don't need a lot. I suggest you use safety specs too. Still a few spots I can pay attention to, but I'll look at that probably at a later date. Now for the other one. So there's the second one. We still managed to protect the nomenclature, which is good. I've still yet to give these a buff with the dry wheel, which is that wheel there. So I'm going to start working on the bowls now. So there's just a few bits of advice that I can give you when buffing bowls. Always keep your finger in the chamber. It will want to fly off if you get it in the wrong place. So if you're not sure, then I would advise you to get someone, a professional to do it. I'm not one of the professionals, I just do my own. Okay, so that's what we've got so far with the Criswell. So the grey in there has popped up really nice. So quite happy about that. We've got some of the char off from around the top of the rim. So we'll get on, put the wax wheel on, and go put some wax on it. Okay, at my buffing wheel, it's on my lathe because it's I can slow it down a whole lot more and control the speed. So, that's kind of necessary for this next part. So we've got our car nib wax, and we'll get buffing. So there we go. Looks like a brand new pipe. Let's get a show up here. So I'll take some better photos of these at the end. So no need for oil or anything else like that on it. Just straight polishing car noob wax. So cool. It's time to move on to the next one. Okay, so we're up to doing or polishing up the Criswell. Now I've already hit this on the white diamond wheel and given it a buff on there. Got a lot of muck off it, but what I ended up with is a lot of polishing compound stuck in the sandblast. Now I want to sort of point this out for anyone who's looking at polishing up or refurbishing a sandblasted pipe. Getting polishing compound stuck in the valleys and the lows within the sandblast itself is very, very common. So what I do is I get the heat gun and I'll warm it up, shove it on a bit of dowel so you don't burn your fingers, and heat it up so that the wax that's on there, it goes all shiny. Then what you do is you get a toothbrush and you scrub at the pipe, and it removes all the excess polishing compound from within the blast. The next step is to wax it. Now for doing sandblasted or rusticated pipes, what I found is, and I got advised to do this of some other pipe making geniuses, to use powdered car nibble wax, and you can get that online. I got this on a makeup site actually. Yeah, I think it was a makeup site. But it's just very, very fine wax, and you know, looks like, you know, talcum powder actually. But you go and raid one of your wife's makeup sponge thingies, and just dab it on there. Probably the best thing to do would be to heat up the pipe first, so you get the heat gun onto it, and just dab it on there. And well, you'll see. I'll just show you exactly what happens. So yeah. You don't want it roasted hot. You just want to make it so that the wax will stick to the pipe when you put it on there, or the powder will stick to the pipe when you get it on there. Probably about it. Don't be shy with it. As soon as it starts to melt, move it along, move it along. And that's what you end up with. Nice shiny pipe. So what I do now is I'll take it inside and put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes and let the wax go hard. Then bring it back outside, and then I'll put it on a dry buffing wheel and then rebuff it. So I'll come back to you when that's done. Okay, so we're at the final buff stage. So we've got the carnauba wax on. It's looking nice. So I'm just going to give the pipe a final buff on a dry, what they call a dry wheel. It's got nothing on it. It's just a mop. So yeah, give it a hit on that. Just want a light touch on here. Nothing too aggressive. So that's it. No oil. Obviously. So there it is. Looks like brand new.